Back on the SportsMax Zone, day 2 of Jamaica's ISSA Grace Kennedy Boys and Girls Athletic Championship had the most anticipated finals of the competition. The Class 1 Girls 100-metre final. Edwin Allen's Tina Clayton clocked an impressive 11.23 seconds in a negative 2.8-metre headwind to edge pre-race favourite Brianna Lyston of Heidel, who clocked 11.26. The other half of the Clayton twins, Tia, she was third in 11.47 seconds. On the boys' 100-metre final, the stage was set for a stirring contest between the fast-starting Bawaji Nkrumah of Kingston College and Levell of Edwin Allen. And Nkrumah stumbled a few metres out of the blocks, with Levell speeding away to win in 10.25 seconds, just ahead of Kingston College's Jivan Nubi in 10.26. Here to tell us more about day 2 action is our senior producer and track and field expert, Ricardo Chambers. Ricardo, we were all glued to our televisions last night because that girls' Class 1 final was highly anticipated. And the end product is that Tina Clayton, the world under-20 champion, defended her territory very stoutly.
Yeah, she certainly did, Lance, and it was a tremendous race. It really was a terrific race. I guess if you were writing a headline about that one, you would say robbed by the wind, because we were talking about it yesterday and about the possibility of the winner and Brianna Lyston potentially going under 11 seconds. That did not happen. Veronica Campbell-Brown's record 11.13 survived, but really in truth, only because of the wind factor. Negative 2B into a minus 2.8 is a special. Had a chat with Bruce James, president of the world-renowned MVP Track Club, and the head coach there, Paul Francis, and they worked it out at 11 seconds flat at zero wind, that 11.23 in a minus 2.8. So it shows you just the quality of the performance that we got last night in that Class 1 Girls 100 final.
Yeah, so Brianna Lyston lost. She was considered, in many people's eyes, the favourite to win the race because of her recent form and the fact that she had improved her start so much. But what did last night's effort by Tina Clayton tell you about the ferocity of this Edwin Allen star?
Well, I think I spoke a little bit about it yesterday, Lance, when I said, listen, Tina Clayton is a warrior. She knows how to come when it matters. She gets up for the big occasion. Her coach pointed out that he told her that, listen, you are the world champion. Get out there and defend your territory. And she took confidence from that, and she delivered. What we saw last night from Tina Clayton was an athlete who refused to lose. I watched the race a few times over today, and I realized that somewhere on Brianna Lyston, Tina Clayton challenged her and went slightly ahead. Brianna Lyston retook the lead, and then Tina Clayton decided, I will not lose tonight. And in that last 30 meters, what we saw was a championship performer who knew exactly what it would take to get it done. And she kept pushing and pushing, and she just managed to get ahead of Brianna Lyston and win the gold medal. It was an absolutely fantastic race, Lance. And I tell you something, at the end of it, the grandstand was standing applauding. And every single time there was a replay on the big screen inside the National Stadium, there was another round of applause. And that continued for about 5 minutes, because I think those inside the National Stadium last night appreciated the quality of the performances that we got. And had it not been for the wind, we would be having a completely different conversation today. You look at it, there was a record in the Class 2 girls 100 meters where Heidel's Tarika Hill ran 11.16 seconds, equaling Kevona Davis's mark, and she had a positive 1.5. There was about a 10 or 15 minute break at the end of that Class 2 girls event to the Class 2 boys event, and that wind speed was negative 0 point, and then the girls Class 1 came up and it went to negative 2.8. It's absolutely crazy that all the other events within decent wind reading, and then the Class 1 girls, negative 2.8, the one that we would have hoped would have been positive, it wasn't. But even if we had gotten 0 win, we would have seen something just extraordinary last night. But the quality of the performances, though, still tremendous. And it must be highlighted that what we saw last night was, at least for me, that for me was the best race ever at Girls' Champs. Definitely from what I've seen. I've been told about 1988, wasn't born when Beverly McDonald, who went on to become an Olympic medalist, of course, was beaten by Michelle Freeman in the 100 meters. That was a big clash in 1988. I did see Simone Facer beat Anisha McLaughlin at 200 in 2004. That was special and will forever be etched in my memory. Sharika Jackson beating Kristen Gordon at 400 meters as well at Champs in Class 1. I thought that was another special race, special clash. But last night, for me, the very best race ever at Girls' Champs.
Yeah, one more thing on that race before we move on, though, Ricardo. I know Brianna would be disappointed that she didn't win the race, but as an analyst, would you say that she lost no marks in the loss she had to the reigning under-20 world champion?
But I think at the end of it, Brianna Lyston had a somewhat of a wry smile, and I think she's probably thinking to herself, I really had a chance to win that one. I think Brianna Lyston will look back at it and she'll say, I did not execute my best race. Fine, well done to Tina Clayton. But I still think in the back of her mind, Brianna Lyston will think, I know I can beat her even at her best. And I think it makes for an interesting remainder of the season, because that's going to be this summer. So there's a strong possibility they'll meet at the National Junior Championships again in June, and then at the World Under-20 Championships in Cali, Colombia. And I think in the back of Lyston's mind, she will think, I can get the better of her, and she'll go back, she'll continue to work. And when she gets the next opportunity, she'll say to herself, I need to execute better. I need to learn from the experience of losing at Champs. And I personally believe that Lyston has what it takes to beat Tina Clayton, even though she lost last night. And I think what is to come as well is going to be special this season. The hope is that they will both stay healthy. Of course, now, Lance, they will not clash over 200 here. Lyston is already qualified for the 200 semis. The Clayton twins not running the 200 meters. And we are looking ahead to the Carifta Games next week, because Jamaica will put together a phenomenal... Jamaica already has the world under-20 record from Nairobi last year, and they could break it again in Kingston at the Carifta Games, and that could be one of the highlights next weekend.
Okay, Ricardo, the audio is not as good as it would like it to be, but just one thing quickly before you go. The boys Class 1 100, which was also another showpiece event on the night. Brian Levell, the Edwin Allen favorite, stood up to his favorite tag and won the race, but he was pushed, wasn't he?
Yeah, he definitely was pushed. No surprise there that he was pushed. And I think it is credit to Brian Levell, also credit to the Edwin Allen program that they were able to win both the girls and boys Class 1 100s. But credit to Brian Levell, because he had lost at the Carifta Trials under 20. Now, in qualifying at the Carifta Trials, he looked by far the best athlete in qualifying. But in the final, DeAndre Daly recovered from a poor start and got him. At the end of that race, I interviewed Brian Levell, and I asked him how disappointed he was not to win that race. And he actually said to me,
Yeah, I think we've lost Ricardo there, but the point well made that day 2 of the Boys and Girls Championship at the National Stadium in Kingston, very enthralling for the fans, and Tina Clayton winning the Girls Class 1 in 11:23 in a negative 2.8 meters per second wind, and Brian Levell winning the Class 1 Boys 100 meter title as he was expected to. We go to break. We have the closing moments of the SportsMax Zone coming up after this.
Keep watching SportsMax on YouTube. For live and exciting sports, subscribe to SportsMax on cable and download the SportsMax app to watch anytime, anywhere.